One of the most empowering realizations a person can have is understanding that personal responsibility creates personal power. The moment you begin taking responsibility for your life, your decisions, and your future, you stop living as a passenger and start living as the driver. This is not about blaming yourself for everything that has happened to you. Life is filled with circumstances that are beyond your control. Challenges arise unexpectedly. People disappoint you. Opportunities are missed, and setbacks occur despite your best efforts. However, while you may not control every event, you always have control over your response, and it is within that response that your true power exists. Many people spend years waiting for someone else to change their situation. They wait for better conditions, better luck, better timing, or for someone to come and provide the solution. Yet the most successful individuals understand a simple truth. Lasting change begins the moment they accept ownership of their lives. They stop asking, "Who is responsible for my problems?" and begin asking, "What can I do to improve my situation?" That question alone shifts the mind from helplessness to possibility. When you take responsibility, you gain influence over your future. Instead of focusing on what others failed to do, you focus on what you can do next. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, you search for lessons. Instead of becoming trapped by excuses, you become motivated by solutions. Responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom. It gives you the ability to shape your direction rather than allowing circumstances to dictate it. Personal growth begins with honest self-reflection. It requires the courage to look at your habits, choices, and actions without making excuses. This level of honesty can be uncomfortable, but it is also where transformation begins. Every achievement starts with a decision, and every decision begins with accepting responsibility for where you are and where you want to go. The remarkable thing about responsibility is that it builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own abilities. Every time you follow through on a commitment, even when it is difficult, you prove that you can be trusted. Over time, these small victories create a powerful sense of self-respect. Confidence does not come from wishing for success. It comes from demonstrating through action that you are capable of creating it. There will always be reasons to complain, excuses to make, and obstacles to point toward. But those who achieve meaningful success understand that energy spent blaming is energy taken away from progress. They choose ownership over excuses, action over complaints, and growth over regret. They recognize that the quality of their future depends less on what happens to them and more on how they respond to what happens. The day you fully accept responsibility for your thoughts, your habits, your attitude, and your actions is the day you begin unlocking your greatest potential. Because when you realize that you are responsible for your growth, you also realize that you have the power to change, improve, and create a better future. And that realization is one of the most powerful forces for success that any person can possess. Most people want growth, but very few people want the discomfort that growth requires. This is one of the greatest paradoxes of success. We all admire confident leaders, skilled professionals, successful entrepreneurs, and disciplined individuals. Yet we often overlook the challenges, sacrifices, and uncomfortable moments they endured to become who they are. The truth is that personal development begins at the edge of your comfort zone. The place where you feel uncertain, challenged, and stretched is often the place where your greatest transformation takes place. The comfort zone feels safe because it is familiar. It is a place where risks are limited, expectations are predictable, and failure seems less likely. While comfort can provide temporary security, it rarely creates meaningful progress. If you continue doing only what is easy, you will continue getting only what is familiar. Growth requires you to move beyond the boundaries of what feels comfortable and step into situations that demand more from you than you have given before. Every significant achievement in life begins with a decision to embrace temporary discomfort for long-term improvement. Learning a new skill can be frustrating. Starting a business can be intimidating. Pursuing a dream can be uncertain. Building discipline can feel exhausting. Yet these experiences are not signs that you are moving in the wrong direction. In many cases, they are evidence that you are growing. Think about how strength is developed. A muscle becomes stronger only when it is challenged beyond its current capacity. The same principle applies to the mind, character, and confidence. Every challenge you face develops qualities that comfort never can. Difficult situations teach patience. Setbacks teach resilience. Responsibility teaches maturity. Failure teaches wisdom. Without these experiences, personal growth remains limited. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel ready before taking action. The reality is that confidence often comes after action, not before it. Many successful people started before they felt prepared. They moved forward despite uncertainty. They accepted that mistakes would be part of the process. They understood that growth is not about being perfect. It is about being willing to learn, adapt, and improve. Discomfort is often a signal that you are entering new territory. It means you are challenging old habits, expanding your capabilities, and creating opportunities for progress. Instead of asking, "How can I avoid this challenge?" a growth-oriented person asks, "What can this challenge teach me?" That shift in perspective changes everything. Obstacles become lessons, problems become opportunities, difficulties become stepping stones. The person you want to become exists beyond the limits of your current comfort zone. Every time you choose courage over convenience, learning over excuses, and growth over fear, you take another step toward that person. Success is not reserved for those who never struggle. It belongs to those who are willing to grow through struggle. Embrace the discomfort that comes with improvement, because what feels challenging today may become the foundation of your strength tomorrow. The greatest rewards in life are often found on the other side of the fears, doubts, and limitations you choose to overcome. Resilience is one of the most valuable qualities a person can develop, yet it is rarely built during times of comfort. It is forged during moments of difficulty, uncertainty, disappointment, and struggle. Many people believe that successful individuals have fewer problems than everyone else, but the truth is often the opposite. The people who achieve meaningful success are usually those who have learned how to face adversity without allowing it to define them. They understand that challenges are not roadblocks placed in their path. They are opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Life has a way of testing every person. There will be setbacks that seem unfair, failures that shake your confidence, and moments when your efforts do not produce immediate results. There will be times when doors close unexpectedly and plans fall apart despite your best intentions. In those moments, it is easy to become discouraged and question your abilities. However, resilience is the ability to continue moving forward even when circumstances are difficult. It is the decision to rise after a fall, learn from mistakes, and keep pursuing your goals despite temporary defeats. One of the most important lessons adversity teaches is that strength often exists within us long before we realize it. Many people underestimate their own capacity to endure challenges because they have never been tested. Yet when difficulties arrive, they discover reserves of courage, determination, and persistence they never knew they possessed. The struggle itself becomes the teacher. Every obstacle develops patience. Every setback teaches adaptability. Every disappointment strengthens emotional endurance. Over time, these experiences shape character and prepare individuals for greater responsibilities and opportunities. Resilient people do not waste energy asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they ask, "What can I learn from this?" This simple shift in perspective changes everything. When challenges become lessons rather than punishments, growth becomes possible. Failures transform into feedback. Mistakes become valuable sources of wisdom. Difficult seasons become periods of preparation rather than reasons to quit. History is filled with examples of people who achieved extraordinary things not because they avoided hardship, but because they refused to surrender to it. Their greatest breakthroughs often came after repeated setbacks. What appeared to be failure was actually training. What seemed like rejection was redirection. What looked like an ending became the beginning of a stronger chapter. The reality is that resilience does not eliminate pain, frustration, or disappointment. It does something more powerful. It teaches you how to move through those experiences without losing your purpose. It allows you to maintain hope when progress is slow and confidence when results are delayed. It reminds you that temporary circumstances do not determine your permanent future. Every challenge you face today carries within it the possibility of growth. Every difficult experience can strengthen your character if you choose to learn from it. The storms of life may test your limits, but they can also reveal your potential. When you develop resilience, you stop fearing obstacles and start seeing them as part of the journey. And in doing so, you become stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the success that awaits on the other side of perseverance. Long-term thinking is one of the most powerful mental disciplines a person can develop, yet it is also one of the rarest. Most people make decisions based on how they feel today, what they want right now, or what brings the quickest reward. They focus on immediate comfort, instant gratification, and short-term results. But the people who achieve meaningful success in life understand a different principle. Today's choices are creating tomorrow's reality. They know that every action, every habit, and every decision is either building the future they desire or moving them further away from it. The challenge is that long-term success often requires short-term sacrifice. The benefits of discipline are rarely visible immediately. When you begin exercising, you do not become fit overnight. When you start reading books, your knowledge does not multiply in a single day. When you begin saving money, financial freedom does not appear instantly. The rewards are delayed. Because of this, many people quit before they ever experience the results of their efforts. They become discouraged by the lack of immediate progress and abandon the very habits that could have transformed their lives. However, those who think long-term understand that progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. They trust the process even when they cannot yet see the outcome. They recognize that every worthwhile achievement requires patience, consistency, and faith in the value of disciplined action. They are willing to plant seeds today, knowing that the harvest may come months or even years later. Long-term thinkers also understand that success is not built through dramatic moments, but through repeated daily decisions. A single workout will not change your body, but hundreds of workouts over time will. Reading one chapter may not change your life, but reading consistently for years can completely transform your perspective and opportunities. Saving a small amount of money may seem insignificant today, but over time it can create security, freedom, and peace of mind. The power is not in the individual action. The power is in the accumulation of those actions over time. Another important aspect of long-term thinking is the ability to delay gratification. This means choosing what you want most over what you want now. It means resisting distractions that offer temporary pleasure but provide little lasting value. It means having the wisdom to invest your time, energy, and attention into activities that contribute to your future rather than merely satisfying the present moment. The truth is that your future is being shaped right now. The person you will become in 5 years is largely determined by the habits you practice today, the books you read, the skills you develop, the people you surround yourself with, and the standards you choose to uphold. Long-term success is not an accident. It is the result of intentional choices repeated consistently over time. Those who learn to think beyond today, remain committed to growth, and stay patient through the process, eventually achieve results that others admire. While many focus on immediate rewards, long-term thinkers quietly build extraordinary lives, one disciplined day at a time. One of the most powerful truths in personal development is that purpose often emerges through action, not before it. Many people spend years waiting for a moment of absolute certainty before they take a step forward. They believe they must first discover their life's purpose, identify the perfect career, find the ideal opportunity, or receive some kind of unmistakable sign from the universe. As a result, they remain stuck, endlessly thinking, analyzing, and questioning themselves while life continues to move forward. The reality is that clarity rarely arrives while sitting still. Most people do not find their purpose by waiting. They find it by engaging with life. Purpose is often revealed through experience, effort, exploration, and growth. It develops as you try new things, learn new skills, meet new people, face challenges, and discover what truly matters to you. Think about any successful person who has made a meaningful impact. Many of them did not begin their journey with complete certainty. They started with curiosity, interest, or a simple desire to improve their circumstances. Along the way, they learned valuable lessons about themselves. They discovered strengths they did not know they possessed and passions they never expected to develop. Their purpose became clearer because they were willing to move forward despite not having all the answers. Action creates information. Every step you take teaches you something. When you try a new project, you learn what excites you and what doesn't. When you pursue a goal, you discover your capabilities and limitations. When you face obstacles, you uncover the values and beliefs that guide your decisions. These experiences become the building blocks of self-understanding. One of the greatest dangers is believing that purpose is something you magically uncover one day. Purpose is often something you build. It is shaped by your daily choices, your willingness to grow, and your commitment to contributing value to the world around you. The more you invest in personal development, the more likely you are to recognize opportunities that align with your strengths and aspirations. Many people who feel lost are not lacking purpose. They are lacking movement. They are waiting for confidence before taking action, when confidence itself is often the result of action. Every small step creates momentum. Every effort increases self-belief. Every lesson learned provides greater direction. What seems unclear today may become obvious after months of consistent effort. The important thing is to stop demanding perfection from yourself. You do not need a complete map of your future before taking the first step. You only need enough courage to move forward. The path often becomes visible as you walk it. Opportunities appear when you are active. Insights arrive when you are engaged. Growth happens when you are willing to participate fully in your own development. Your purpose may not be hiding somewhere waiting to be found. It may be waiting to be created through your actions, your discipline, your experiences, and your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. The more you do, learn, serve, and grow, the clearer your direction becomes. In many cases, purpose is not the starting point of the journey. It is the destination that gradually reveals itself along the way. One of the most empowering realizations a person can have is that personal responsibility restores power. When people feel lost, confused, or disconnected from themselves, they often search for explanations outside of themselves. They blame circumstances, bad luck, difficult people, past mistakes, economic conditions, or events they cannot control. While many of these challenges are real and can have a significant impact on life, focusing entirely on them often leaves a person feeling powerless. The moment you begin to accept responsibility for your direction in life, something remarkable happens. You regain control over your future. Personal responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that has happened. It does not mean ignoring hardships, denying pain, or pretending that life has always been fair. Instead, it means recognizing that while you may not control every event that happens to you, you do control how you respond to those events. This distinction is where true personal power begins. Many people spend years waiting for someone to rescue them, motivate them, understand them, or change their circumstances. They believe that happiness will arrive when conditions improve. However, lasting growth begins when a person decides to become the driver of their own life, rather than a passenger. The day you stop waiting for perfect circumstances is often the day your transformation begins. Responsibility is closely connected to self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, complete a task you committed to, or take ownership of a mistake, you strengthen your confidence. You begin to trust yourself. That trust becomes the foundation upon which personal growth is built. People who consistently take responsibility for their actions develop a stronger sense of identity because they know they can rely on themselves. One of the greatest benefits of personal responsibility is that it shifts your focus toward solutions instead of excuses. Excuses may provide temporary comfort, but they rarely create progress. Solutions require effort, honesty, and action, but they lead to improvement. Successful individuals are not necessarily those with the easiest circumstances. They are often those who have developed the habit of asking, "What can I do next?" rather than dwelling on what went wrong. Personal responsibility also encourages continuous learning. When you take ownership of your results, you become more willing to evaluate your decisions, adjust your approach, and improve your skills. Instead of seeing failure as proof that you are incapable, you begin to see it as feedback. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. The truth is that reclaiming your life starts with reclaiming responsibility. The moment you accept that your daily choices shape your future, you stop giving away your power. You realize that meaningful change does not begin with external conditions. It begins with internal decisions. Every positive choice, no matter how small, becomes a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, those choices create momentum, and that momentum creates transformation. When you take responsibility for your growth, your habits, your mindset, and your actions, you unlock one of the most powerful forces in personal development: the ability to intentionally create a better future, one decision at a time. Resilience grows through adversity. This is one of the most important truths a person can learn, yet it is often misunderstood. Many people believe resilience means never struggling, never feeling discouraged, and never experiencing fear or disappointment. In reality, resilience is not the absence of difficulty. It is the ability to continue moving forward despite difficulty. It is the strength that develops when life does not go according to plan, and you choose not to give up. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has faced obstacles. Every successful individual has encountered moments of uncertainty, failure, rejection, and self-doubt. The difference is not that they were protected from hardship. The difference is that they learned how to respond to hardship. They understood that challenges are not always roadblocks. Sometimes they are training grounds for personal growth. Adversity has a unique way of revealing strengths that comfort can never uncover. When everything is easy, there is little reason to stretch beyond your current limits. But when life becomes difficult, you are forced to think differently, adapt, learn, and grow. Challenges test your patience, strengthen your character, and teach lessons that cannot be learned from books alone. The struggle itself often becomes the teacher. Think about the strongest people you know. Their strength was not created during easy seasons. It was developed during moments when they had every reason to quit, but chose to continue. It was built through disappointments they learned from, mistakes they corrected, and setbacks they overcame. The wisdom they possess today is often the result of battles they fought yesterday. One of the greatest shifts in mindset occurs when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single question transforms adversity from an enemy into a source of education. Every challenge contains valuable information. Every setback offers feedback. Every difficult experience has the potential to make you wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the future if you are willing to learn from it. Resilience also requires patience. Growth rarely happens instantly. There will be days when progress feels invisible. There will be moments when your efforts seem unrewarded. Yet resilience is choosing to remain committed even when results are delayed. It is trusting that consistent effort will eventually produce meaningful outcomes. Just as a seed grows beneath the surface before anyone can see it, personal growth often takes place long before visible success appears. Perhaps the most encouraging truth is that resilience is not something people are born with. It is a skill that can be developed. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen that skill. Every time you recover from disappointment, adapt to change, or continue despite fear, you become more resilient than before. The storms of life are not always meant to break you. Sometimes they are meant to build you. They shape your perspective, deepen your character, and prepare you for opportunities that require greater strength. The difficulties you face today may become the foundation of the wisdom, confidence, and success you enjoy tomorrow. When viewed through this lens, adversity is no longer something to fear. It becomes a powerful force for transformation, helping you become the person you are capable of becoming. Long-term success is built daily, not occasionally. This is one of the most important truths a person can understand when trying to find themselves again. Many people believe success comes from a single breakthrough, a lucky opportunity, or a moment of inspiration that changes everything overnight. While those moments can certainly help, they are rarely the foundation of lasting achievement. Real success is usually the result of small actions repeated consistently over long periods of time. When people feel lost, they often focus on how far they are from where they want to be. They look at the gap between their current reality and their desired future, and the distance feels overwhelming. As a result, they become discouraged before they even begin. What they fail to realize is that every great accomplishment is simply the accumulation of many small efforts made day after day. The person who eventually becomes confident was not confident every day. The person who becomes successful was not successful every day. They simply committed to making progress, even when the progress seemed insignificant. Psychologically, consistent action creates something powerful. Evidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your belief in your own capabilities. When you wake up and complete a task you said you would do, your mind receives a message that you are reliable. When you repeat that behavior over weeks and months, your self-image begins to change. You no longer see yourself as someone who merely hopes for a better future. You begin to see yourself as someone who is actively creating it. One of the greatest mistakes people make is underestimating the impact of small habits. Reading 10 pages a day may not seem life-changing. Exercising for 20 minutes may not appear remarkable. Saving a small amount of money each week may feel insignificant. Yet when these actions are repeated consistently, their effects compound over time. Just as a tiny seed eventually becomes a mighty tree, small daily disciplines can produce extraordinary results when given enough time. Another important lesson is that growth is often invisible before it becomes visible. There are seasons in life when you may be doing all the right things and still feel as though nothing is changing. During these periods, many people quit because they mistake a lack of immediate results for a lack of progress. However, personal development often works beneath the surface. Skills are being developed, character is being strengthened, confidence is being built. The results may not be obvious today, but they are accumulating nonetheless. Patience is therefore an essential companion to consistency. Long-term success requires the ability to trust the process even when the rewards have not yet arrived. It means understanding that meaningful change takes time and that lasting transformation cannot be rushed. The people who achieve remarkable things are often not the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the ones who remain committed long enough for their efforts to produce results. Finding yourself again is not about making one perfect decision. It is about making better decisions consistently. It is about choosing growth over comfort, discipline over excuses, and progress over perfection. Every day offers a new opportunity to move slightly closer to the person you want to become. When those days turn into weeks, and those weeks turn into years, the results can be extraordinary. The future you desire is not built in a single dramatic moment. It is built through the quiet choices you make every day. Success, fulfillment, confidence, and purpose are not destinations reached overnight. They are outcomes created by consistent effort over time. If you focus on winning the day, one day at a time, you will eventually create a life that reflects your highest potential. The small steps you take today may seem ordinary, but they are laying the foundation for an extraordinary future.